MKDH here, and you may have heard that we had that nightmare at Capitol Hill, which at least I personally can do something to get my landlord to pipe down after a recent mess with him. Unfortunately, I also got a response from the local department 7 minutes after I provided the update news to them where I had made the move managing as much. The local department proclaiming that many departments are going to need to review the whole mess, which of course needed a 24-page Google Doc to cover. It also talks about the third case of survivor's guilt that I've been under. Gosh, this is going to punctuate how much of a mess the handling of my parents' house ultimately is. Even more than the place is literally. But at least when I have drawn the attention of enough people to proclaim that active organization is going to be needed going forward to fix these messes, I can be thankful for the unintentional backup plan. I have legroom again. But I can't get back to the link to the past quite yet, even though I technically can. First, though, there's already the Capitol Hill situation to cover before I handle that. So, for those who are somehow in the dark, yesterday on January 26, 2021, a cluster of Trump supporters invaded Capitol Hill to try to destroy election results, got actual help with the infiltration from some of the patrolling police officers, and the resulting chaos led to a few fatalities before National Guard from Virginia and Maryland stepped in to kick them out. My disgust toward the rioters and the traitors police officers, although used in the move I made in regard to my landlord to make that gray area, is genuine on account of their attempting to destroy the order and values of the country. But I would, of course, just be preaching to the choir as Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton would be if they said anything. So that by itself would not warrant this video. What does is the girl who was shot dead. My attention was brought to this at around high noon during the insurrection by Double M, and the gunshot on the ground of Washington, D.C. was by itself shocking enough, and not even helped by how I would learn a few minutes later that Ted Cruz was, naturally, involved in this farce. That alone is why I would make my move involving the landlord. But this doesn't stop there. Oh no. Eventually, we see the body of the victim, whose face was pixelated and who was mentioned to be bleeding hard, and I was noting the victim's sweater sticking out forward on the top half of the torso. You can guess why. Eventually, at 3:15 p.m., sometime after my watching of the live stream lagged from this blasted laptop's issues, Dublin remarked about yet another right-wing mob that led to a murder, which my view of the stream hadn't indicated why he would say that, but I could easily guess. Oh, but for those who think we're done there? Well, the victim was actually a writer, so people theorized that it was the police who were responsible. But even with that, I also noticed the writer hailed from San Diego. In other words, part of a state that Double M and I have torn at for being Democrat in name only. If you ask me, although I do not mean disrespect to the dead, I will state on record that the rioter is only sympathetic if she was coerced into aiding a group wanting to destroy evidence and sacred property. And even then, that screams the point where I think she was going by a deal with the devil that got to the part where the devil was collecting. I need to clear up that although, yes, I was stupid for ever seeing that stupid thing over a decade ago, contrary to what the internet hate machine would have you believe, no, I never believed in that claim. Does anybody seriously think I would? This is the sort of scenario that I fear would happen. You think I could just voice that sort of concern publicly? Even to this day, we still have bitches in sheep's clothing in places you very well can't reasonably expect them to be. Meanwhile, I already knew about the I love you stigma just as well as this character named Sabrina Spellman did. And I knew then that it's basically a moral of show don't tell. It is society so hell-bent on being full of hate that it ends up having everybody caught up in it. My goodness. At least the rest of this whole problem with the Capitol Hill mess does speak for itself. And that particularly includes Trump going as far as to pull a Roger Rittens on Pence. Don't know who Roger Rittens is? Look through the magical turnabout in Ace Attorney's Spirit of Justice and see why he makes me seethe! Other than that, the most I can come up with is saying how glad I'll be that Trump and Ted Cruz will get theirs, which isn't exactly unique. I may as well leave this entire subject to the experts. So next time, we'll actually get something in going in 2021 that isn't a freaking negative video, and handle the next part of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past No Damage Effective Minimalist run. So until that happens, thanks for listening, and I hope you have a good day. MKDH out. And seriously, I don't want girl dad to be stupid to be nice!